1, 2, 3, 4.
In this podcast, you will hear Knights of Vader. Knights of Vader includes, but it's not limited to talk of Star Wars, not Reagan's. We can't truly prepare for the joke that follows this song, but hey, we gave it a try. So here's the Knights of Vader. Crystal Fox reports they are divided. Prequel, sequel, hate and love they fight. I know that we are just musicians hired, and their time is up. So here's the Knights of Vader.
Impressive. Most impressive.
A big thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. It is March 2nd, 2025. My name is Zach Weber, and joining me today is the man who has promised not to talk unless spoken to, Chris.
Hey man, I feel invigorated and engaged as a Star Wars fan for the first time in approximately 18 months, so it's good to be here.
The curse of feeling alive. And we have Grand Admiral Zenger.
At ease.
And we have the man whose name on the call is, quote, Kathleen Kennedy stole my lunch money, Joe.
Well, you have stories that people are sitting there saying that things are happening to her. So I think I'm going to out her as she's the one that stole my lunch money probably 30 years ago. And she beat me up for it. And
I
so
believe
couldn't
it.
get my nutty buddy. And I'm very disappointed about it. I'm traumatized by it. And, you know, I think this miscarriage of justice should not go any further.
Agreed.
It should also be noted that Joe's background image on this call is, Russ put it, the sniper's platform of Skywalker Ranch. And speaking of which, we have Russ.
He's trying to eat me.
Hello, hi everybody. Here we are, and I'm glad everyone's so invigorated. Now tell me why we're invigorated. I'm ready to listen.
Well, folks, as Chris will so gladly discuss in a moment, we have some delicious steak at the Rainforest Cafe. When this trailer debuted in our group chat, Chris posted a fantastic AI-generated image of Calrissian Andor eating a steak in the rainforest. It's like it's the literal interpretation of the Rainforest Cafe. Yeah. It's a cafe in the rainforest, and you have Diego Luna eating a steak. And I literally couldn't tell the difference. 90-second trailer, static image, one and the same to me. Wow. Beyond Calrissian Andor season 2 trailer talk, we also have the umpteenth million time Kathleen Kennedy is retiring / being fired talk. Except this time, much like Emperor Palps, the dead speak, and Kathy actually did an article shortly after all these rumors came out. Kind of fascinating when it comes to the corporate politics side of this, which I absolutely love. When I can't discuss box office nonsense, my second favorite indulgence is corporate, just non-buffoonery. It's great.
Well, what happened here, though? Is this just someone just started a fake rumor and everybody just wants it to happen so bad that they just run with it until they have to come out and go, again, this is not happening? But is it just that there's nothing else? I mean, of course, great trailer came out, but there's like no drama swirling around, so they got to do something.
Well, what happened was that it was Matthew Bellany at Puck News, who I forget what trade he worked at before Puck News, but he posted the story. I think all the other trades like Variety, The Hollywood. Okay, perfect. Not a fantastic use of an audio medium. Chris has now posted the image of Diego Luna. I forgot he's eating the steak with his fingers. That's the best part.
And this is so AI. That's so you don't wear that shirt with that suit jacket. I'm sorry.
No.
I can't get things right.
No, because see, he put it in a Canadian AI, which automatically put it in
tuxedo.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they recast Jack Black from Minecraft? Is Diego Luna going to be Steve now? Is that why?
I believe it.
I'm pretty sure I used Gronk. It says in the bottom corner there, so it's pretty American. It's like basically the official AI.
They knew a Canadian was using it.
Yeah, I was going to say IP address. Don't lie. I mean, they knew where you were coming from, what you were looking for.
Yes, we should say Chris from the newly annexed Canada, the 51st state of this country.
Yeah.
No comment, Chris.
No, I mean I'm kind of on board with that at this point, so I'm ready.
It's like, does that mean you get proper toy distribution? No, Chris, you get the part of the country, but you lose Toys R Us in the process. This is a fair enough trade.
I hate to report it, guys, but they've closed like 5 out of 30 stores in the last month. I think it's on the way out anyway.
Ooh.
What?
No.
Russ, insert the Darth Vader clip. Close enough. But yes, so Kathleen Kennedy had a rebuttal with Deadline, a different Hollywood trade, where she pretty much like it's the thing she does every year or so, where she'll do something where she'll just like discuss every single Lucasfilm Disney or Star Wars project that has not come to fruition. And again, that's where it is a very long list. The most noteworthy comment is that the Sean Levy directed film is supposedly the next thing after The Mandalorian and Big Whiskey. She doesn't outright confirm Ryan Gosling is going to be the star of it, but it's very much hinted at that. And it takes place 6 to 9 years after the rise of Skywalking.
Yay!
Beyond that, oh God, I guess I have the bullet points right here.
Is that the Rey movie? Then?
No, the Rey movie is become the new Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron. That's in perpetual development hell.
In a trunk.
Yes. So here, this is basically what it is. It's the Mandalorian Big Whiskey is the next big Star Wars project. Sean Levy standalone film set 5 to 6 years after the rise of Skywalker will follow the Mandalorian and Big Whiskey and may feature some sequel trilogy characters, but primarily introduce new ones. Simon Kinberg's new trilogy is described as the next iteration, the new saga for Star Wars post Episode 9. Is a script is supposed to be ready by June of 25 this summer. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie is he's working on the script, but he is currently focusing on the Bob Dylan movie in the award season campaign for that. Taika Waititi's film is less advanced, with him working with another writer, but Kathleen Kennedy remains unconcerned about the delays, noting that Star Wars projects can take years to come to fruition. The thing that's the most interesting is that she makes a very big point in this article of like, I'm not retiring anytime soon. There's a transition plan, even though I have a successor hasn't been named. Again, the rumors swirling about her successor come down mostly to Favreau and Filoni kind of doing a Peter Safran and James Gunn thing, where one is more the financial mind, the other is the creative mind. There was some rumors of Kevin Feige, who's more of a Star Wars fan than a Marvel fan, coming over, because once the Marvel machine is kind of run its course with Doomsday and Secret Wars, after at that point, 20 years, everything needs to change a pace. No, it's the Deadline article is fascinating simply because it's Kathleen Kennedy playing defense for, again, countless time, where it's very much her being reactive to the headlines as opposed to Lucasfilm driving them. It's just another instance of that. Lucasfilm just doesn't know what it's doing, in the sense of, at least when it comes to the PR aspect of it. We should also mention this again. This last week was very strange. We had that whole thing with Kathleen Kennedy. We have the Calrissian Andor season 2 trailer. We'll get to in a moment. And then we also get the announcement that Revenge of the Sith is coming back to theaters in April.
Yes.
And
Yay.
I don't know about you guys, but that poster for that 20th anniversary re-release was everywhere. I mean, that was inescapable the day they announced this. Like, that was
great too.
Good, clever poster design. Very clever poster design. But it's weird to think the thing that gets the most amount of traction, positively speaking, is the re-release of a 20-year-old film. Like, we're in a rough spot where that is what gets the positive traction.
You know, it's almost like even like 10 years ago, think of what a chat, like comment section on Instagram would look like, a little closer to the film. I was so curious for those main posts for announcing Revenge of the Sith's return. The comments are just the most positive thing, of thousands and thousands of can't wait. This is the greatest thing ever. Can't wait. And it all like seemed like finally organic. And that's one thing I think everyone could agree on. Even if you hate the prequels, you go, well, Revenge of the Sith, I'll go see that.
Although the convenient skipping of episode 2, going from a 25th anniversary to a 20th, I'm not in favor of that. 2 thumbs down.
I am. I'm in favor of ignoring the movie completely.
It's really a crime, and now it's going to be weird if they're not going to do it after episode 3. They fumbled the bag on that somehow.
Nah,
They
they
would be
fine.
2027. It came out in 02, so they could do that then. But they didn't. Did they not? Was it COVID that killed the release of Attack of the
No,
Clones?
we released
It's the
Empire in
movie.
theaters in
It's
2020
the movie that
without
did
any
it.
issues.
It's too
There's
lost.
hills I die on. This is
Come on, you don't want to see even go see the seismic charges in the theater again? Make you dream.
Watch Jango Fett drive his fire spray through the Geonosis asteroid belt.
Yeah, they're gonna re-edit it. If they do that, they're gonna have to re-edit it.
We'll probably
And
be
that
seeing
will
him
be in
again.
here. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be awful. They're gonna re-edit it, not edit it properly, like I would. Let me redo it. The 25th anniversary. Let me redo it. Attack of the Clones.
The Sifo Dyas cut?
Yeah, exactly.
Release the Sifo Dyas cut?
No, the Qui-Gon Jinn cut, because I'll just replace it with he says Qui-Gon Jinn, and it makes the whole movie different. I can't do anything about the Padme and Anakin stuff. It is terrible. I can't work there.
Two chairs being thrown at each other across the room.
Totally watchable.
But okay, the Revenge of the Sith thing, going to Chris's point about them skipping Attack of the Clones, I don't think it's weird that they skipped that in 2022, but I think it's more like, yes, it's weird they skipped it, but they also re-released The Phantom Menace. Like, The Phantom Menace, like Attack of the Clones is kind of like the weird forgotten stepchild film, The Phantom Menace is always going to be the film that gets the most amount of ire, just simply because it's the one that had the most collective backlash to it.
Nah.
Great
What a
rebuttal. Moving
bold
on.
statement.
Episode 2 is definitely the most hated of the prequels at this point. It just
Yes.
I
Is
think that's
it? Or is
not
it the
even,
most just kind of there?
no way. Episode 1 is just looking better with age. I feel like it now these days it's like neck and neck with episode 3 for the best prequel. I feel like episode 2
that is literally
just forgotten.
insane. That is insanity. The fact that we're putting the Phantom Menace on the same level as Revenge of the Sith.
Whoa.
Bonkers.
I don't know. I mean, like if you're objectively looking at it, it's probably the best of the 3, but we don't need to litigate that now. I don't know.
Joe, please, you must. I can't imagine you wouldn't.
No,
side with me on
just
this.
remind them all they're all great, right? We love all of them.
Russ is like, can't we like them all equally?
Well, it's
The
like
only-
they got one of the greatest lines. I killed all of them, not just the men, but the women and children too.
Like I said,
He said it in a real stupid fake voice. That's exactly how he did it.
I can't fix that part of episode 2. Okay, I can't do it.
That's the part you don't have to fix. That's what I'm trying to say. Is there
Change
there's
everything
some
but
stuff
that,
there
Zenger.
that you don't have to. The teenage angst is what drives it. But
Yeah,
there's a
come
lot of
on.
people that are-
And the
If I went to-
matricide and the patricide.
I mean, come on. If I went to youth correspondence, they'd be sitting there being like Skibbity Star Wars or something. Chris, you might need to edit that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what that means in Gen Z language, but yeah.
We're going to have to bleep that. Chris, did I tell you that not that this has to do with Attack of the Clones, so it's pertinent. Chris, did I tell you the Get out of here, Lorax. Chris, did I tell you the story behind this? My Jango Fett like Lego Technic figure from 2002.
Oh, that's actually a 2002 because it
Yes.
looks kind of like the destroyer droid they put out like last year.
I
Yes,
got that
but-
thing too, Zach.
What happens is that this has been half built, not even half built. Like one leg was built since 2002. It was in a giant Ziploc bag, and I finally built it this year after 23
It's cool.
years.
You should rock it and everything. It's a fun toy.
Yeah. The rocket's
have that-
great. I almost put my eye out twice with it already.
It's a rough one. Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man. Like it's like no wonder why they didn't release the Boba Fett like 3 3/4 inch figure. If it's even half as powerful as this, good
Is
God.
this because you suddenly realized that all Lego instructions are available on the internet after 20
No,
years?
I still have I have the box. Like literally, it's been a Ziploc bag since 2002. It's great.
So you didn't build it before because
was a
your child
child.
brain could not handle the instructions? Or what?
100%. Like one of my favorite memories, tangent, is Christmas of 2003. My mother building my Lego AT-AT Walker as I watch Freddy versus Jason. Not an exaggeration. No part of that story is embellished.
Yeah, I feel like your mom should have knocked some sense into you because, like, if you're old enough to watch Freddy vs. Jason, you should be building your own Legos. Like,
see, and we all wonder why I am the way I am now.
Hey, no matter who wins, we lose.
That's AVP, but close enough. Same thing.
I was hoping Chris would correct you, Russ. But yes, Revenge. Okay, like now that's a hell of a. I mean, I got to someone call Rob up, figure out the algorithm for rating Star Wars films. But somewhere Rob just breaks into the call for StreamYard. Rob's spider sense is tingling somewhere.
He actually could answer this on his phone, which would be funny.
Oh no, don't put that out into the ether, Chris. Russ. But no, so like again, it's gonna be fun to see Revenge of the Sith back in theaters, absolutely. Especially that it's gonna be in 4DX. Like, did you see that, Chris? We're getting some 4DX.
Yeah,
like Padawan murder.
4DX is pretty rare in Canada. I'll try and find it though.
It's gonna be weird the part people cheer at now. You're mentioning the kids getting murdered and that, but that's the kind of thing. Think about the reactions getting after 20 years. I mean, I know I haven't seen it in the theater since it was out. There's gonna be a lot of inappropriate cheering at that part and stuff like that. But I'm excited for it. I hope there's a crowd go opening night or something.
No, see the problem. Me? Okay. See, the problem is I can't go see this movie without like my entire high school group of friends that went to go see it originally, because I need my buddy Rob to be there so that when Grievous comes on screen and starts coughing, he can be like, Rachel. Because one of our friends that went to go see us had bronchitis like at the time and would not stop coughing. So it's a very inside joke that is very insensitive, and I'm glad I got to talk about it 20 years later on a podcast.
Zenger, you've made that joke on the record before. I know that.
Oh, I have? Sweet.
100%.
Awesome. I love it. Love it. I never said I would stop.
Wait, you're saying General Grievous has come up on this show before? That's crazy. Oh, wait, he is.
He's not as tall as I
episode
expected.
3, like seeing episode 3 in theaters is probably like the greatest in theaters. It's also the only original ticket stub from a real Star Wars movie that I have in my possession that I went to, and it's like I remember skipping grade 10 math class to go with the boys down to the theater, and when we got out, all the kids who properly went to school were in line to see like the showing after school, like chumps. Like, it was great. Like, we saw it before all these people who actually went to class, and we went to the department store and got some crappy lightsabers and brought them in the theater. Like, it was the quintessential experience, you know. It was good. But I mean, I think now that we mentioned like them skipping episode 2, when episode 1 was back in theaters, didn't some places do all 3 together, or they did them like
9.
during a week?
They did all 9.
Well,
there's rumors that it was going to be 3 that didn't pan out, but they like 10 theaters in the entire like all of North America did like 1 through 9. It was like a 20-hour affair.
Yay.
Chaos. Never mind. That's not a good idea. I was like, at least episode 2 made it into that, but it's actually a disaster and no one should expose themselves to that.
No. See what you do is you watch episode 1, you have me rant for 2 hours about episode 2, then you watch episode 3, then you take a break, then watch the original trilogy, and then just go home. There's no point to staying after that point because nothing good comes from what's about to happen.
I mean, that's like 70% correct as far as I'm concerned. You know,
which part is incorrect about that statement? Do you not want me yelling more? I mean, it's a lot for me to drive around and go to all these theaters.
That's all right. I mean, I think the audience wouldn't mind. Like, we probably shouldn't do it, but like Zenger trying to like do a detailed plot explanation of episode 2, if he had to sort of pace himself to like 10 minutes for the whole thing, that would be fascinating. But let's not.
Do you want me to do it correctly, or do you want me to do it like what was actually shown? Because one of those is going to cause me to rage a lot. Well, actually, both.
I could tell the whole story pretty calmly. All right, we're going to start. It's a Naboo ship. We see the thing coming in, and it's landing. I could do a great one. I happen to like it.
Even Russ has it committed to memory, Zenger. You know what I mean? Like, he's an original trilogy kid. He doesn't play that prequel nonsense, but he appreciates the 6 Lucas movies for being
perfect.
The Old Testament. Yeah, exactly. They're the good stuff. So you should really come around on episode 2 because
never.
The only thing that Disney has put out that's better than episode 2 is Andor season 1 and Andor season 2, which hasn't come out yet, but it probably is better.
But it
than
will
episode
be.
2. Yeah,
It will
maybe.
be. Mark our words.
Here's the real question: are we gonna get The Force Awakens re-released in December?
Yeah, 10 years, huh? 10-year anniversary.
Chris, let that sink in. The Force Awakens is going to be 10 years old. The same amount of time Revenge of the Sith was from The Force Awakens.
Yeah, Unkar plot has been in our lives for that long. Like, it's crazy to even think that. One water portion.
Yeah, stupid Simon Pegg and it's prequel hating jerk.
What was the name of the 2 pirate gangs on Han's ship?
Kanji
Kanja Club and
I don't know.
the red face guys. Remember
Whoa.
No, the guys with the red and the black circle faces.
Yeah,
Guavi and Death. The Guavi and
Bobby and
Death.
Death Gang, yes.
Wow.
Completely blocked that out from my memory.
As you should.
Remember Captain Phasma? Remember when Captain Phasma was the hottest thing ever and then they literally threw her in the garbage? Remember when they did that?
She got better. She came back.
Did she get better?
Got a whole book. Yeah, she got a whole book out of it.
Dude, in the book, they literally said her armor was made out of Palpatine's Naboo starship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
That book is great.
They're
Like Phasma novel's great, and then like they kind of just like I think the person who wrote those novels doesn't even write Star Wars novels anymore.
I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, how many are they going to give the same person?
Nor write.
True.
It's not like in the 90s where they had like 3 guys write all of them. You know, they pass it around other than Timothy Zahn these days.
They shouldn't.
Well,
He can't do everything. He's an old man. I mean,
No,
George
he
R. R.
just
Martin
doesn't-
can't even finish his thing.
yeah, Timothy Zahn actually enjoys writing Thrawn. I think George R. R. Martin no longer enjoys writing Game of Thrones, and that's why you're not getting it. It's never going to happen before he dies, but that's because the fans of the show have just sucked the fun out of that franchise for him.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
my
he doesn't
assumption.
finish it, too. I think it'd be
Whoa.
great.
Fans can suck the fun out of a franchise for the creator?
I just want us to look directly into like down the scope of the cameras we all have in front of us at this statement.
Yeah, somewhere out there, Lucas is like, I told you guys, that's exactly what happened. There's a whole
As he's charging
documentary about
Disney
it.
rent to work out of his building.
Just walking around ranting.
He's the one spreading the rumors that Kathleen Kennedy's retiring.
Yeah, I heard Kathleen's on her way out. I don't know, boys.
He's saying that at the food
probably
court as he's ordering his takeout.
Listen, I'm probably gonna get around to watching Wicked just because George Lucas said it was good. I haven't done it yet, but it wasn't even on the agenda at all before I heard that George Lucas thought it was good. So I'll probably get around to it.
Yeah, but he said something like, "Yeah, I know how hard it is to do something like that. Pretty good. Because he looks at it as, how hard is this to me? Oh man, I was like, I know Attack of the Clones was hard. This is really hard.
He's just comparing Wicked to Attack of the Clones in his mind while he watches it in every aspect.
Yeah, his peak of creative,
No,
He was
Rush,
talking about the Chinese food that they served him in the theater.
Yeah,
He wasn't talking about the movie. He was like, the Kung Pao chicken was very good. Not the movie was good. It was chicken. He was worried about the chicken.
it was wicked. What did you love so well? This stuff was so wicked. And they're like, oh, he loves Wicked, I guess.
That, and he probably saw it in Vermont where everybody says
exactly.
Wicked. So
He saw it
there
in
you go.
Boston.
Like, Wicked. Wicked.
I'm gonna get a local code. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do the voice. Him saying "mad wicked." Just imagine for yourself.
Oh man, it's just mad wicked.
That's just wicked.
sits down in the theater with his Chinese food. This isn't Red Tails.
No, he's getting so old. The flying monkeys are like, just airplanes flying around to him. But then that part of like the whole verse of that. I haven't seen Wicked.
So have you guys heard?
He was going to watch Rise of Skywalker, and they showed him Wicked, and he was like, "Well, I don't remember Star Wars being like that."
So in ignorant Star Wars collector news, have you guys ever heard of a massive toy show called ICCC?
Sure.
I know.
Where
Russ
does that
has.
go down in Tennessee?
Yeah, that's the toy show that's run by basically a Facebook group called the Imperial Commissary, and they made their own collectors convention, but they don't have the word Imperial in it. It's, the official name of the convention is just the acronym to avoid copyright infringement. It's pretty great.
Right, it's like making made in USA. It's like, USA is our country's name.
But it's funny, like the owner, the guy who started that Facebook group, which has like, I don't know, several thousand members, and it's mostly focused on like vintage figures, buy and sell. But like he became like this real divisive member in the collecting community by like banning like the New York Collectors Club and the Georgia Collectors Club, which basically has the whole Illuminati of Star Wars collectors in it. And recently on his, Chris? Yeah, he banned all of them. And yes. And then recently his latest convention, I think it's this summer, he announced that Star Wars Theory is going to be a marquee guest, and more people are even boycotting him because of that. So apparently Star Wars Theory is like somehow canceled or like inappropriate. So like a bunch of people are not going to this collectors convention just because Star Wars Theory is invited. That's the world we live in, boys.
I mean, isn't that part of being like getting popular as some kind of Star Wars commentator? Is that like you end up didn't like the biggest Star Wars podcast get hit for talking smack about female directors and stuff like that?
Rebel Force Radio.
Yeah, Rebel Force Radio.
Yeah. Oh, it's not us. We're not the big. Oh no.
Well, you know, just the fact that we're still releasing episodes probably puts us in the top 10 as far as the algorithm is concerned, because everybody else has quit through attrition, and there's the franchise being like driven into the ground. There's like 3 or 4 diehards that are regularly posting who are actually good at what they do, and then we're like just making it into that top 10. I think. So
we're in there by default. We're in there by default, people. We did it.
Basically,
which means if you stick around long enough, you still get a trophy. Yeah. You get a ribbon, like in science fair.
Trophy,
We have a participant ribbon.
Yeah, well, but I just thought it was funny that I didn't realize people were boycotting Star Wars Theory. He probably said he didn't like Episode 8 or something like 5 years ago, so he's canceled. Like,
I'm pretty sure I remember when he's like always getting in trouble because he was.
There's some of that accolade hate, probably, right? Come on. No, what does everyone get in sticky with it for? Or with or Mando Geo, what's her face?
Yeah.
Who?
Hey,
a lady who got canceled.
Gino Carano.
Gino Carano. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Marshall
also
McLean.
I looked at the cover of and did not buy the current issue of Star Wars Insider, and I noticed that the featured interview on the current issue of Star Wars Insider is Roger Christian, who we had on last year, I think it was. So and he's partnered with Star Wars Theory to make some bootleg lightsabers, and they're gonna still put him on the cover of Insider, even though he's basically now selling an unlicensed Luke lightsaber. So there's hope for us yet, guys. He's not canceled. He even made Battlefield Earth, and he's not canceled, and he's working with Star Wars Theory, and he's on the cover.
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about that.
When he was saying, on.
It's an objective fact that he's actively selling bootleg lightsabers, and he made the cover of Insider. So it's a new world out there.
And Timothy Charlemagne is unstoppable at the Oscars tonight.
Beautiful non sequitur.
I'm sure.
Timothy Chalamet? You talking about Blimp?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Congrats to him.
All right. So we've already talked about. Everybody happy with when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy next? Like, do we actually think Ryan Gosling is going to star in this? Like, considering that Ryan Gosling can't get a movie off the ground unless he's Ken. Do we actually think that after The Mandalorian and Big Whiskey, we're going to get a post Episode 9 movie? Because there's no mention of Cowboy Hat Man's movie in any of this.
It's secret.
Right. Well, he wants to stay, you can imagine it's going to involve one of his like pet characters if he's going to get the chance, it's going to probably be in that era.
Well, it's supposed to culminate. Like his movie is supposed to be like the Avengers Endgame of all the Mandalorian stuff. And there's no mention of that, nor is there any mention of the Rey movie, which is again, because that was another article that came out like a few months ago. Is that like within Lucasfilm, there's like 3 different projects fighting for who gets to use Rey next, and that's the thing. Like Rey's the only kind of ubiquitously successful thing to come out of the sequel trilogy.
Wait, hold on. You said fighting to use her. I think you misspoke. I think you mean fighting to not have to use her.
No, Rey's the face of almost a three. What of a three? Oh God, $4.5 billion trilogy. Like,
Okay, sure. Let's go with that.
like Chris can hum and on about that, but she is the face of that. Like, there is marketing value to the character of Rey.
Yeah, you didn't stay to
People
the
don't
end
really
and
hate
said
that
Rey
character as much as they did.
Yeah,
Was
they're
that
saving.
right?
They're making movies with her, and of course, that's kind of why when you mentioned that other film being made, 5 years post, I'm like, well, isn't that the Rey movie? It's like, well, if when Rey's not on screen, every character should be asking, hey, where's
Ray?
Yeah, where is she?
Dude, Cowboy Hat Man's movie is so not a thing at all anymore. Like, it's so tangentially exists. Like, so much has come and gone since that's been announced. Like Rangers of the New Republic was supposed to be like a key part of the build up to the Cowboy Hat Man movie, and that's not that hasn't been a thing for like years at this point. And the Mandalorian movie is that still supposed to take place before season 4, which is still happening?
Season 4 is very much up in the air. That's
Yeah, I don't think there is still
confirmed nor
season
denied.
4, is it? I think they're just saying the movie is going to close it out. That the movie is season 4. That's what I've seen.
Originally, they said the movie takes place before season 4, I think.
I think it is.
Well,
season
yes,
4
we're
now.
not. We're getting the movie before we get, because again, after Calrissian Andor season 2, the next TV show is Ahsoka season 2, and they haven't even started filming that yet. Like, keep in mind, after Andor season 2, that's it until the movie, unless there's like a weird Bad Batch animated show that just drops out of nowhere.
Is that really it? Is there? And that's when you mention things like that, that's going to be, this is going to be the end game of it. I'm thinking about. I literally finished watching Endgame today. I hadn't watched it in a minute. And there's so much. It almost seems insulting to compare to that, because there's so much more in an Endgame coming together. This is just the Rebels gang and the Bobas going against.
And through 3 seasons of Mandalorian, a skeleton crew.
Skeleton crew, how are they getting in there? What? Because old tentacle beards coming in? I don't understand.
Jad Wood's coming to save the day.
She's a mom. Oh, all right. Sorry.
All right. So, okay. So Chris is forcing us into a steak at the Rainforest Cafe. All right. Calrissian Andor season 2. We got a trailer. The trailer plays real life music. It's not as fun as lesbian space witches chanting over the credits, but hey, one must settle for what one is given.
Nah, it's just a ton of walking.
A lot of walking. Skywalking, perhaps.
Oh, I get it.
Trailer looks solid enough. Joe was talking to me IRL about it, and he thought it kind of felt like half baked. I thought it was okay. Like it did enough. I love the fact that there's a title card that's like, this is a show that everybody says is quality television, and there's no person it's attributed to. And I literally did a spit take when I saw that.
It was like sophisticated, up a more intellectual alley. It's like throws you all these things. We're like, ho, what are we getting into here? I'm like, they don't do that for any other show because they would be mocked relentlessly. But they know they could actually do that for this, so they do.
Yeah, but that aren't those like the greatest like trailer quotes ever? They're like, hey guys, everybody actually said this one was good. Like, it's like no one had anything.
I'm not in disagree. Yeah, I'm not even in disagreement with it, but I'm like, it's funny that they have to point it out, And
then they got a shot of Darth Vader with an old Rogue One shot of Darth Vader in a hallway igniting his lightsaber.
Did they? No, they didn't.
Yeah,
in that trailer.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. We could actually watch it on here, but I don't know. Yeah, we could. It's just recording, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I prefer to remember it as it was in my mind, which was flawless and hilarious and good. And it shows you that it's not necessarily divisive to put a real song in a trailer, because as long as the content is actually good, people will give it a pass, which they mostly have in this case. But I would like to say, though, that it's not true that Andor season 1 was universally praised. First of all, Zack didn't like it, and he's right here. He can answer for that himself.
It's true,
but
I do not like steak at the Rainforest Cafe.
But also, there was the whole contingent of people who were because Andor was praised by the not my Star Wars crowd who hated Ahsoka and like Mandalorian season 3, like the diehard like Disney sycophants were basically they had to dislike Andor because it was being viewed favorably compared to the crappier shows. So like because they love everything, they had to say Andor's don't overrate Andor. It's just as bad as these other shows. Like there was literally a narrative for the diehard Star Wars fan that Andor was not that good just because it was looking too good compared to the other shows.
And I want to say, I remember a lot of the people that were down on it. I had friends that were, of course, didn't how boring. Oh, it's so boring in the beginning and so slow and all this. And so I think they reacted to that by, and I think I mentioned at the time, like, what is it? Cyril and his mom talking, and it might seem like those boring things. But I could watch them go forever. I don't know. It's something about the weird board. We brought out the whole bureaucracy talking. I actually like that. But where the hell was I going with this? We were talking about. Yes, there we go. The steak at the Rainforest Cafe.
Exactly. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Trailer's good.
I was gonna say, here's the thing: they didn't use my blurb. I got asked to give a blurb for this, and it was they have atmosphere Star Destroyers. I mean, the people who do the interviews for these are just people that yell on the street, right? Because that's what I yelled back at the guy.
Zenger, I think in Atmosphere Star Destroyers, like they've given you everything they can possibly give you at this point.
They can give me more.
They put them under the ground, for Christ's sakes, and pulled them out. Like, they've done it all. But I think where I was going with what I was saying before is I think that reaction to it being kind of boring, now we're getting for the first time ever, I don't know if I like this, 3-episode spurts at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Right, with this season. So they're going to throw 3 out at a time. So if you were going to stay away from spoilers, you better have some time on your hands. You know what I mean?
God dang it.
Yes, I know. And I don't. So what does it mean? Just we get 3 weeks of Andor and then that's it? How many episodes are there?
4 weeks.
Oh, 4
4. I was like, going a week and a half. That's all we get. Like,
well, look at this way, Russ. For 4 weeks,
12 episodes.
You get basically the equivalent of a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. One whole Star Wars.
And you're not going to have any. That. And because it has these time jumps, you shouldn't have any very unsatisfactory cliffhangers because they wouldn't leave a plot detail that doesn't get resolved for over a year. So like you won't have like an egregious cliffhanger, hopefully, because the next week shouldn't be taking place like the scene right after the one you just saw. It should be a year later. So hopefully they're 4
BBY now. Oh, yeah. Now we're in 2. Oh,
so they should be relatively contained and satisfying third episodes that don't leave you like annoyed, hopefully.
All right, now see, we get Krennic. We hadn't had him yet, and we get, of course, A2 Kesso, the guy we couldn't wait. Everyone's favorite sassy robot. We already going to see him. We knew it was coming. I actually thought he would show up in season 1, but evidently not.
Well, he did.
One did. I mean,
one did for sure, but not the guy.
That still might not even be the one.
Oh,
Alan
man.
Tudyk's busy.
Wasn't he high-fiving him? No, maybe not. I don't know.
Dude, I remember like when Andor got announced, like probably like a couple years before it came out, there was like a celebration interview with Alan Tudyk was being like, "Oh yeah, man, I've been involved in the pre-production. We're talking. It's going great. I'm excited to be back in the role." It's like 5 years later, he's gonna get like 2 episodes.
We got to call him on that one day. But like, what were you doing then? He was like, "Yeah, they called me in." I was like, "Yep, this is what the robot looks like. This is the one I play." But yeah, you say stuff. Yep. I say the line. Okay, see you in a few years.
Yeah, I think his name's slipping me.
K2SO?
No, like the director producer who did most of season 1.
Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, he just forgot K2SO was a character in season 1, so they realized they did 12 episodes without him, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, that whole thing."
So for the record, so we don't sound like a ton of fools, I think the thing talking about the first season being acclaimed and everything is them setting up to have all the people with the blurbs.
Like, hey, you want to get in on more blurbs? Just be nice to us. We'll put them on.
They didn't put my name under. They didn't put my name under this spring. That was my comment about the series. I said this spring.
Oh, this spring.
Yeah, I almost want to re-edit the trailer and
This
just
brings me into a rage I've never felt before. And they're like, this spring. That's what Zenger said.
Yeah, and we need to re-edit the trailer. Just put Zack a Zack quote saying it's steak at the Rainforest Cafe, like over a nice image of Andor shooting a briar pistol.
No, I want to see Zack actually go and get a steak at a Rainforest Cafe. But
I thought about it.
This is awful. I just think, yes, you were right. Good one.
Yeah, but it's steak at the Rainforest Cafe in a post-apocalyptic world where the Rainforest Cafe is the last standing restaurant. That's what you have to keep in mind.
All right, so I'm
looking up the menu for the
research.
Rainforest Cafe to see if they offer steak.
Zach, that's what I was doing.
I'll race you to it, Zen. I'll race you to it. Oh, okay. What Rainforest Cafe should I get the menu for?
It's Galveston,
that's the problem.
Galveston, Texas. There's one right across from the beach. It's the craziest one you'll ever see. Galveston, Texas, for sure. It's an island.
There's one
All right,
in
I'm
Niagara
going for
Falls,
Galveston,
Canada.
Rus. All right, they're offering reservations. Do I do it?
Yes,
let's call them. Let's call them up. Let's go by their steak is
right now. All right, Atlantic City.
Ooh. Look, I've been in the Galveston one.
Okay,
Look,
they got super salad.
No, it's soup or salad.
Oh my God! Wait! I found
Super
it.
salad.
It's the Jungle Steak and Shrimp. It's surf and turf at the Rainforest Cafe.
Right, because
Chris,
Rogue
how
One
does it
has the
feel?
beach stuff. The beach
Guys,
stuff. Right.
Is that not shrimp in the AI image in front of that steak? It might be.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Oh,
That is weirdly.
that looks like
profound.
no. That is crinkle fries with ketchup poured on them like a maniac.
All right, Chris, you have to post this in the Facebook group and let the three people who regularly comment decide.
Yeah, this might be our first episode on video that we can just post directly in the Facebook group. How enjoyable for the diehards.
They got some top sirloin. They got ribs, steak, and shrimp trio. God, you get just all the meat, or you could get.
Now that is a.
That's the Andor pull quote right there. You get all the meat.
Kathleen Kenny's like, write that man a check right now.
Catchable only at the Rainforest Cafe. Oh, come on.
I don't know, man. I like it. Like Zach, you're saying watching this trailer, I was like, wow, like that's the first time in a long time I saw some Gen 1 stormtroopers shooting at something, and I thought it was cool. Like, it's been a long time since those haven't felt lame. I don't know, man.
They look great. You're talking about the shot in the field where Andor is just pulling up and the rock music is rocking. He's going all Top Gun on him. Yeah. I actually think the show is going to be a lot more like season 1. I think they're just taking they're making the most exciting trailer possible. I do feel like it's going to have that same kind of pacing, but the way they put that as if, it's like Andor Kill Bill in the beginning where he's just like, might as well have that dun 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 like him walking around.
Yeah, it's great. You get an awesome shot of like Andor shooting a missile at an Imperial troop transport from like there's a TIE interceptor that's like just got like a square cockpit and like 20 missiles attached to it.
That's going to be some other crazy made thing that there's going to have in this one thing.
That's my biggest objection, that they're showing basically a TIE interceptor like before the Battle of Yavin. It's like, come on, guys. 20 Gilroy.
Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Technically, it's a TIE Avenger.
If you go to the Rainforest Cafe in Orlando, you can get a primal steak.
Ooh.
I know. It's just a really big chunk of steak instead.
It's like the Rogan menu.
Yeah. For a cheap $44.99. Comes with seasoned vegetables, mashed potatoes. So like red-skinned mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, Zach, it's
sub the red skin for cream spinach.
It's like that metaphor, Zach. It's like Demolition Man, where all the restaurants are Taco Bell, but they're all Rainforest Cafe now. It's like it's not the best steak that was ever available, but it's the best steak that's available now.
I don't know, man. Like, need I pull up the appetizer menu and describe what I actually want from the Rainforest Cafe?
They have
we should do the show
options.
hungry, y'all. I'm telling you, once he puts food on the screen, we're debating restaurants.
So Luthen's gonna die, right? like for sure.
Of course.
He's promised he wouldn't in the first season. He was like, I promise you, I will never see another sunset after I finish screwing them over. You see, I will help you.
And Saw Gerrera is like almost at Rogue One quality campiness. Like he sounds like just as ignorant and silly as he did in Rogue One. He's got like his gas mask back.
Oh yeah,
crazy hair.
We get some nice fan service. We see what looks like Dakar from The Force Awakens, the base, and it looks like Calrissian Andor is on Lothal.
Oh,
what's
a second.
Dakar?
That's the one. That's the Resistance base from The Force Awakens.
Oh, the one that was supposed to be Yavin until someone told JJ it shouldn't be Yavin.
You know, Russ was onto something here, because the one in Galveston has the jungle steak and shrimp, which I think is what he's eating here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because it's the sirloin, scampi, Caribbean coconut shrimp, and seasoned vegetables. And you know what? Looking at this picture with his... How many fingers does he have? I just noticed the fingers.
It's AI, so they're going to be wrong. The fingers are going to be wrong.
Well, he's also holding a steak to his mouth, lad. He's not even cutting it like any kind of... Diego Luna would never.
No, Diego Luna would only eat a steak like that.
Maybe he's just sniffing it. I'm not sure.
He's just smelling it and looking at Zack.
Staring into my soul as he eats the steak.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say...
For the record...
This one's for you, Weber.
For the record...
Weber grill.
All right, so I have to ask Chris, is Andor the treetop fillet or is it the primal steak?
Primal.
Primal?
Primal.
All right, so actually we should play a game called...
Well, I mean, you asked Chris, but I answered.
That's okay.
So.
I agree with Zenger.
It's me.
That's what that steak is saying.
But like, I feel like I want to play a game now and take the weird names from the Rainforest Cafe menu and attach them to Disney Plus shows. So like, we have the mozzarella flatbread with arugula. We have the beef lava nachos.
I think we need to point out something, Zach. Not sponsored. Continue.
Not sponsored. Hashtag. And we have the Korean fried chicken lettuce wraps. And not to forget the awesome appetizer adventure featuring chimichangas. I'm like
Awesome appetizer adventure. Yeah, that's like the beginning of a. That's like Mando season 1.
Mm-hmm. No, obviously that is that has to be nothing else other than Moon Knight.
We're not talking about Marvel.
I thought all Disney Plus was included.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
We have the volcanic Cobb salad. That's definitely the Acolyte.
Oh, I was going to say that's Red Hulk if we're doing... Oh, but you can't call it.
When Alien Earth comes out in Canada, it's going to be on Disney Plus. Isn't that cool? I can see it.
Literally insane. Literally, I want to know, on this podcast, we discussed the idea of R-rated content being on the home screen of Disney Plus.
Yeah, they stuck a few things in. Yeah, they got a bunch of stuff in there.
Don't even hesitate now. It's on the home screen. At least I argued they wouldn't have it on the home screen.
Well, it's going to be on Hulu for you guys, but in Canada, it's going to be on Disney Plus because we don't have Hulu.
Joe, I freed Calrissian Andor from his plastic sarcophagus. Can you 3D print me a steak for him to be eating? Like a little steak?
You can get that in a little food kit for kids, I'm sure, man. You're fine.
Make a note, Joe. I need a little steak for Calrissian Andor to be eating.
Man, you know what's fun? Zack holding that figure makes me realize I did buy it like a month ago and never opened it and forgot where it is. That's the being a Star Wars collector for you. I never opened it and don't know where it is. But because I liked it better than his like scruffy drifter look from the season 1 figure because it was
he looked like a hobo.
The first episode. Yeah, except for he did have the Briar pistol, which is the one superior thing about that version.
Yeah, this figure doesn't come with either of those.
We get to see some cool looks out of him though in the trailer itself, and maybe kind of going into that, he's already, he was first billed as what a spy, right? And
yeah,
that he was built up to. I think we actually got to see a little bit of a spy kind of action out of him, but not just combat role. When he was kind of dressed all slick, it looked like he was trying to fool some folks on Coruscant or something, where he was dressed as Slick Andor. That's some actual spy stuff. He was supposed to be kind of a James Bond-ish, just saying a spy, but he hasn't really done anything like that. So I think that's kind of, we're going to get a little arc where his spyness is really going to come in, where he's just really going in deep, pulling things off.
Yeah, it's probably in the trailer, but last week Hasbro showed a figure of him in a TIE fighter pilot disguise, so there's some spy action. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the first TIE pilot figure where like it actually has a removable helmet. And so like I'm pretty sure Cassian Andor has a removable TIE fighter helmet, which is like
TIE. It's the TIE. That's why people think it's Lothal, because remember the TIE fighter plant for prototypes is on Lothal.
Yeah, well, it has to be Lothal.
One just flew by. I just heard that.
Well, there's only two planets.
That was me.
There's only two wheat planets, Dantooine and Lothal, and it's not going to be Dantooine because the Rebel base should have been abandoned for some time. But it should have been abandoned for some time by this point. So it shouldn't be. They shouldn't be showing Dantooine. That Rebel base would have looked too fresh when Tarkin had the scout ship check it out. So it's too late in the game.
That'll be explained. They'll say they thought we abandoned this place a long time ago. We didn't, and they're like later found out like, whoa, Leia sold us out. We were actually still there.
So what's the deal with these like stormtrooper looking people without helmets on? What's this? What's going on here? I want to know more.
They sort of did that in season
or something.
I don't know. 52 seconds in, that is when they make their arrival into the trailer. At least the one I'm watching from official Star Wars. 4.12 million subscribers on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Punch the noti button.
Wow.
Take that subscribe button on one-way ticket to Pound Town.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's PG-13. Season one. Season one had some guys that were basically like solo mud trooper armor with no helmets. So like there's some precedent for that in Andor because Tony Gilroy just does whatever he wants and it ends up being...
And we love him for it.
Exactly.
God dang it, I just salute him. I saw that,
Yeah.
Zack.
Great. I have to censor every salute that you guys do from now on because no one is allowed to salute anymore.
It wasn't a salute. That was a hand wave.
All right. Luckily, Zack left.
Close enough.
Yeah, but I shoot with this one. And that's what he was doing.
That was a tremor. That was a tremor.
Yeah, it was involuntary. It was okay, guys.
Alien hand syndrome.
But yeah, Andor season 2. Do you think we're gonna get more appearances by Mon Mothma's husband, Hedonism Bot?
Yes, please.
That's going to end. That's going to end. He's going to end up. I think he's going to end up selling her out. He's going to find out, and that's going to be a thing. And seeing those, you kind of forget the drama that turned up towards the end of Andor season 1, the Mon Mothma stuff. But that is very like high stakes what she was pulling off, and I think her husband ended up turning on her. She's going to get found out, and we see Krennic that it involves in that storyline, which is that's when that comes down that he figures out what's going on there. I think that's going to be the thing that outs her. Like somehow Krennic's going to get on the case of her, and she's going to have to bolt and go full. Why do I keep want to call them a resistance? The Alliance, of course.
She sports a new haircut too.
Her daughter's a religious nutball who's dancing around like a weird, pre-wish.
I thought she was being married off at the end.
That's got to be her
being
wedding.
Traded, basically. Yeah.
In the trailer, that's got to be her wedding. Like that party.
Man, I was not paying attention to anything that was not Diego Luna on screen, I guess.
So you'll probably have Hedonism Bot at the wedding. Like, did they? I can't remember. Is Hedonism Bot the kid's biological father, or did they allude to it not being the case? I forget if that was like a second marriage.
I think they started as a very loving couple, and as power and time over roads away. I don't know. It's a complicated.
Yeah, I think they'll be divorced by then, but Hedonism Bot will be at the wedding.
Is there a divorce in Star Wars?
Yes.
Still a better love story than episode 2.
Yeah, they never got divorced though.
Well, it's more interesting.
He just choked her to death.
Yeah,
exactly. That's like divorce.
The real thing,
we call it aggressive negotiations.
The real insight into the Padme Anakin relationship in episode 3 is like when they're talking on the landing platform in Mustafar, you realize like these guys have had like 5 conversations their whole marriage. Like this is, it's like they just met. And
I'm a senator and you're a war. We can barely talk. They are like an anime couple. Like honestly, I love those movies, but still the way they talk to each other is very anime.
Yeah.
Did they have any conversations during the Clone Wars? I know they have a couple.
Wait, which Clone Wars? The true one or the fake one?
Fake one.
And they they added a big one in season 7 that wasn't in the original Bad Batch arc. They took out the scene where Anakin is bothered by the pinup art of Padme on the side of the gunship and added in. Instead, he telephones Padme instead of arguing about pinup art of her. So they added a scene there.
Zach, remember, there's the whole scene where 3PO reveals that he's got the whole new shiny gold armor on. They have a whole conversation. Well, I'm talking about the real one.
In that one, he pulls a lightsaber on her neck before they have that conversation.
Foreshadowing.
Yes. That's the first time he threatened Padme.
There's more relationship building in the one stare that Anakin and Padme share while he's flying his Jedi Starfighter away from Coruscant in the Gandhi Clone Wars than there is in the entire movies. But
yes, there is, because that is done correctly.
Yeah, but
put their hand up.
But all that to say, like, you'll never see a more
now.
you'll never see a more accurate depiction of relationships in Star Wars than you get in Andor season 1. So it's just another thing to that show's credit. It's good.
What are we talking about in Andor season? Are we talking about Bix, or are we talking about?
There's a lot of relationship.
I was talking about Hedonism Bot, because that's a real marriage if I've ever seen one.
That midlife crisis they're both hitting,
Yeah, that's real talk. That's like a lot of people watch that and they're like, "Yikes, man! I gotta clean up at home a little bit."
Going out.
I don't sound like that, do I?
Only Chris.
Wait, why does my wife keep going to this weird antique shop all the time? Yeah. If your wife is going to too many antique shops with secret spies running them, maybe you should chill out a little.
Not even canon.
Non-canon armor in the antique shop. You gotta love that. It's like doesn't its presence in the antique shop make it canon? No, it makes the aesthetic design with no context canon. That's the real problem with this whole Disney canon thing. It's like Darth Plagueis is like, it's like even now with the Acolyte appearance, it's still like kind of debatable if he even exists. Like really, because it's like you have Palpatine spinning a yarn, and then you have a shot of a guy with no context, without a name.
Never getting context.
Oh, he's looking over May. He wants to see what's going to happen.
Maybe even though some homeless guy.
Even though Leslie Headland says that it gave interviews saying it is Plagueis and he knows everything that's going on. That's not in the show because it's Star Wars. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, speaking of that, canon, did you see that Palpatine's little speech, or broadcast of the galaxy, is finally canon because it's in the Rise of Skywalker comic adaptation? It's no longer just a Fortnite thing.
Fortnite?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. It's actually canon now.
How many years later do we finally get something?
6?
5 years later, the broadcast of the galaxy is canon. 5 years later.
Well, it's sort of
that puts the plot in motion for episode 9.
It's sort of referenced in the opening crawl, to be fair.
The dead speak.
Yeah.
But the broadcast was not canon.
That was one of the first words, weren't they?
What's the line after the dead speak? You should know this off by heart, Zach.
I should know this by heart, and I'm a little disappointed. The dead speak. Oh God, something of the something emperor. Huh? It's like now it's gonna make me mad.
Yeah, he definitely says something about the telegram.
What's his name? Where's Cameron Monaghan? Where is he? Where doesn't he have something that?
Oh God, I forgot he's in that scene.
Dominic's brother. What are you saying?
Hobbit.
Heat, man.
Wild.
The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine.
So it's canon always. It's there, right there.
But not the actual. Not the actual.
What's up, all my homies in Fortnite? It's me, Emperor PP. We're here to go.
It says broadcast. That's like that. It references it indirectly, but it was a thing that he put on the internet.
What was it broadcasted over?
The HoloNet.
I'm just saying.
Then Rey and Boba Fett could fight in front of each other, while they were waiting for this to go on. It's all Fortnite. It was. Oh.
Do you remember when Bosk was gonna have an appearance during the episode 9? And he was watch Lando's broadcast and scoff, and the camera would pan away from him.
Yay!
Remember when Dengar was in Force Awakens 10 years ago, man? We didn't even know that was him. That guy with that big weird head.
Crazy. That's because Pablo Hidalgo decided that was Dengar after the movie was finished. Basically, that it wasn't actually Dengar. Pablo Hidalgo was just it could be.
All right, Rex was in Return of the Jedi.
I'm sorry, who? Plo Koon?
Rex.
His name is Nick Sant Zenger. Okay.
Oh no,
whatever.
That's people great. That's I guess still officially head canon, not actual canon, but why not?
Yeah, you know why? Because the real reason is I actually I don't want to do any editing, so I'm not going to tell you the real reason why Nick Sant will never be a clone, but it's never going to happen.
All right. Yeah, we can't show the naked images here on StreamYard.
Yeah, there's evidence out there why it will never happen. But yeah, it's not. They made him look like that a lot in Rebels, but he's the guy behind the bunker that you never saw.
Surely no old man could be helping this ragtag group. He's got to be this rigid old clone.
People don't get old in Star Wars.
No one's ever really gone.
And unless they're on Tatooine. Then they age rapidly.
Yeah, that Emperor guy looks great in that last one.
Yeah. Tatooine.
Snoke. Talk about Snoke.
Tatooine ages you so much that you might be physically capable of taking on a Sith Lord as Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, but 10 years more on Tatooine and 2 stormtroopers are going to take you out.
Yeah, Storm's coming in. That chick was hot. The young hottie on Tatooine.
Yeah, they were not incinerated by the stormtroopers. That's just what happens if you're on Tatooine for over 40 years.
You burst into flames.
They just sat outside too long.
You know what's really interesting?
Spontaneous alien combustion.
I hate it when that happens. Actually, something really interesting. Palpatine's broadcast.
Okay.
While also
do this?
Yes.
Watch it on the.
Yes. Well, you can. It's like literally 10 seconds. While also featured in Ray Carson's novelization, Carson stated the broadcast was conceived by someone else, not by her nor the Fortnite developers. So that was 100%
Lucas.
a JJ Lucasfilm thing.
It's in the crawl. Of course it was.
But that's what I mean, though. But like, it's a weird thing that they once again dumped. They clearly had Ian McDermott record that, and they dumped it into Fortnite. That's fascinating as a creative choice.
It's
stupid.
It's infuriating. Yeah.
What you call infuriating, I find fascinating.
Stupid.
It's the
Zenger,
only
what about Psycho DS? Zenger, who ordered the clone army?
Okay,
who ordered the clone army, Zenger?
Let's do this. I'm going to rewrite episode 2 right now.
Episodes 1 and 2.
All right, look, if you let me share it, I'll play it. You guys want to watch it? What's the dead speak? This is a 35-second version, okay? I'll put the volume down because it's insane. All right, here we go. Let's go.
At last, the work of generations is complete. The great error is corrected.
And this is just on YouTube? Sorry, Space YouTube.
The day of revenge. The day of the Sith.
That should not be canon.
I mean,
while you hear that, I want you to imagine
Thriller.
It was Thriller at the end.
While you listen to that, imagine a Ray Fortnite avatar running around with like a machine.
There are other videos where you can watch everyone running around teabagging each other if you want to.
Yeah.
Do we have to bleep that, Chris?
No.
Dude,
they were drinking.
No, that's from if that was acceptable to put in Xbox Magazine in 2002, then it's acceptable for this podcast. But seriously though, like they took one listen to that and they're like, yeah, just say somehow returned because we can't include that in the movie. That's terrible.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
I'm currently loading.
Make poor Oscar Isaac deliver that line as straight as humanly possible. With his head in his hands.
Dude, you know what? They probably made that Oscar Isaac's last scene for principal photography so he didn't quit before the movie was done.
Can we please talk about how, like, and Zenger can appreciate this. Can we please talk about how Oscar Isaac is like the king of schlock? Like between like Apocalypse, Moon Knight, Poe Dameron, like the man just loves schlock. Wasn't he nominated for an Oscar at one point too?
The man loves getting paid.
He likes getting paid. He likes getting paid for like. It's like finding out that like Daniel Day-Lewis was like a Grimace like McDonald's character at one point in his career.
I mean, I thought just seeing Poe Dameron would ruin Dune 1 for me, and it didn't. He pulled it off.
Yeah, he's in Dune.
Cool.
He's like naked in Dune,
schlock.
like spits like in spits in Stellan Skarsgård's face.
Yeah, but that's a good movie.
That had nothing to do with anything. He just did that. Like they just had the camera on. He just did it. That was not in the script at all.
Stellan Skarsgård, also a king of schlock.
Stellan or yes, the other Skarsgård.
There's many. Russ, you have to know.
There's 3 of them, correct?
Stellan,
It,
and there's another one that one talks about.
Bill. Oh, Bill
Poochie.
is it. Never mind. Poochie
Skarsgård. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, Chris? Any more toy? Like any Lego talk? Zenger.
Oh, no, hold on. I can get on that. Fortnite's loading apparently, so we said it too many times. My computer was like, "Okay, fine."
I don't know, man. Like my new setup, I got my Legacy Falcon like on a floating shelf right in front of my computer. It's a great time to be alive. I hope that I was hoping there would be an announcement at Toy Fair this week that the vintage collection was ending, so I could just focus on getting the best parts from it and not whatever's latest coming out that's a subpar.
Ooh,
but unfortunately,
and they announced a land speeder.
Yeah, wow, a TVC land speeder. They only, first of all, already have one, and that was like the 5th version of Luke's land speeder to be released.
They look less and less like it every time they make it too. I'm like, what are we even doing?
Yeah. But when they put out that poster and they're doing Hasbro has this whole marketing thing right now called the Return to Tatooine.
As if we ever left.
Exactly. Never. You can't get away from Tatooine. But they put out a poster with like they have a really lame playset called like the Streets of Tatooine, which is like a cowboy like Western town facade of a couple buildings from Tatooine and a doorway. It's like that's what stands for a playset these days. It's like almost like as bad as the cardboard ones from back in the day. But
it's just for people who take pictures and put them on like Instagram and stuff. I mean, yeah, exactly. I guess it's a kind of cool set. But if you got a cantina or something or a Jabba, that's like your set already. You don't need. Yeah. It's like you have so many posable figures. You need the streets too. I guess they kind of just probably copy what anyone like 3D printing stuff is doing. I know, Joe, you could probably speak on this. Like anything that is in that community where they're like, this is just stuff they won't make, we'll make it. And they're going, no, get an official one for kind of the, I don't know, what would you call it? The not so in with it, looking for independently made stuff who just buy the official stuff. They's like, well, if people are making it independently, we might as well make it ourselves. And you end up with stuff like that. And that weird Bespin, as much as I love Cloud City and Bespin freeze chambers, I had no desire to get whatever that thing was that you were supposed to put together in some isolated part, a shelf that you get suspended high just for that.
If you had like a 30 by 20 inch shelf that you could put like a printed background in and custom lighting, that Bespin freeze chamber is cool. But most people aren't going to dedicate that much like physical real estate to a Bespin playset. Like the funniest, there's some great quotes from Irvin Kershner like about filming that set where he's like, man, the floor and the ceiling looked amazing. But too bad that if you know anything about filming, you're doing like close-ups on the actors all the time, and you're going to see none of that for most of the scene. So I don't know who designed that set, but they put all of the money in the 2 places where you're barely ever going to see it. So like,
because Lucas knew it was all going to be those still shots of Vader high up on those steps with Luke in the foreground or something like that. Or, the couple of shots you get, I think it works. Kershner can cry about that all he wants. Wow. Those shots are iconic enough and worth it.
Yeah, but do you ever like that one? I mean, this is way off, but like that one like fake hallway in the back of the carbon freezing chamber that's supposed to like force perspective, like
infinity thing.
It's supposed to look like it's going back like 200 feet. That effect is like one of the worst in the whole original trilogy.
It was
like,
so confusing to me as a kid. I was like, what is going on back there? Is that where they go? Like, what is it? Or is it just a thing? That's almost like the hallway in the Death Star. And that was a part of an art thing. The hallway that Han and them were in, where it's just something about it looks, you could tell it's off.
Yeah, that's but anyways, like I do support on the Hasbro front. I do support the Cantina HasLab. I did order one, and I will be. I hope the Tonica sisters are not released in any other form, so that I can be an elitist collector who has them.
No, I want them.
People don't have them, so that'd be good.
Man, how do you gotta max out the battle pass to get Sub-Zero. Lame.
That's
Fortnite for you, man. That's how I do it. She's not. They're not as try getting a Ray. I dare you. You can't get any more. We have.
I don't want it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want it. All right, all right.
I will say that I'm looking at the Calrissian Andor TIE Fighter pilot like action figure packaging. It does say like under his name, Sienar or CNR, SIENAR test pilot. New planet maybe, or just code name for something like that's on the packaging.
Is that how we're gonna meet Bodhi Rook? Is Bodhi Rook in there?
Bodhi
somewhere?
Rook.
Makes a connection with the Bodhi Rook. And we are getting Borgullet origins, correct? In Andor, like
We
that
can
is.
only, we do or we riot. It's one or the other.
Imagine if Borgullet
Both.
was once a man.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it.
Borgullet's not a system. He's a man. He's a man named.
Guys, speaking of ignorant collectibles, I've just put up a picture of a very plain looking plastic cup with a painting of Darth Vader on it. Who would like to guess how many Canadian funny money dollars I just paid for this cup, guys? Let's
40,
is Right rules.
40 loons. 40 loons.
Price is Right rules.
I say 40.
Yeah. Everyone has to guess.
Fine, $800.
Which is $40 US.
$50.
I think it's 63 cents to $1 right now, something like that.
Oh,
I can
Cool,
change
though.
that.
I can't
Oh,
tell
we're
if that's dust or an artistic choice on this cup. You might want to wash this thing when you get it.
Well, I'll give you a hint. So it's from 1977, and it's a Coca-Cola licensed cup. Let me see if I can get the other.
Is it
picture.
from Burger Chef?
Yeah, here's
No.
the back of it. So
Rubies.
it's from
This
a
is
Canadian,
super cool.
yeah, Canadian-only restaurant, officially licensed Coke cup from '77. So Russ, would Zenger said 40? Russ, how you said 800?
I went way high. Yeah. So
Let's have a
you
real guess.
You could get this for the low price of.
I think they're actually equally
Andy?
rare.
I've
Yeah.
got one. Yeah, I know. Mine says 1 of 6. I'm like, cool.
Wait,
Zach,
what?
how much is a plastic cup from 1977, Zach?
I'm gonna say $39.
With
Oh,
some
you-
exclusive.
God.
No, I'm gonna say this thing is a little more than that. It's pretty obscure. You paid a couple $100. Come on, please tell me you did.
So it's on the back it said, keep in mind this is from 77. On the back it says, one time a Jedi Knight, the formidable Lord of the Sith. Word Sith, 77 right there. Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, draws his remarkable evil powers from the dark side of the Force. Force in
Quote.
quotation marks. As the enforcer for Grand Moff Tarkin, the power-hungry governor of the Imperial Outland? regions. Vader
Whoa!
uses his
What deep cut lore are we getting? Oh man, this is some.
These are secrets, cup secrets.
Yeah.
This is why
Vader-
cups were important back in the days. We got a lot of
Yeah.
our lore from these. It's not a
I think
joke.
we made fun of Fortnite.
I was about to say this is before Fortnite. This is how you had to get your Star Wars info.
Yeah, like
Go find a
it's
cup
like,
in
You had
Canada.
to consume sugar and keep the evidence.
now Lord of the Sith is mentioned in the novelization written by Alan Dean Foster, former guest of Knights of Vader podcast.
Wait,
But,
you guys had Alan Dean Foster on, author of Splinter of the Mind's Eye?
That's right. You weren't on that one? Or are you just
No.
plugging it right now so people can look for it? But
Exactly.
yeah.
Find out if
gonna
Russ was
listen to
on
it.
it.
I wasn't.
All right,
I would have known.
That's
All
what
right,
he
so
wants
nobody
you to
cares. So nobody cares. It's $40
Russ
is our only
cares.
guess.
Yeah. No, 40
Right.
and 39 because
Wasn't more than
that's a
that. You
jerk.
paid a couple $100.
Russ probably saw the post or something.
No, I didn't. I swear I've not. I swear.
I am
Yeah.
gonna question.
What has this
things, Chris.
devolved
All right.
into?
All right. I with shipping, I paid $208 Canadian dollars
Oh
for
my
this
God.
plastic cup.
I knew it. I knew that's. I've never seen that before. That is super. I've never heard of Groobies, and I thought I knew about all the food exclusive old vintage stuff. I love
Yeah.
those old cups. I love those.
Canada
That's
only.
great. I've never seen that.
Yeah. That's
See,
why
he's got that T-shirt money. That's what this is.
Was
Yeah,
it
that's
used?
I can't afford a cup like this.
knows?
I'm still buying the little plastic mugs that I can
Yeah,
get for $20 a pop.
It's one of a set of two, and there's another one that has R2 and 3PO on it, and now I got the last Thanos crystal for the gauntlet. It's one of two.
I how you say crystal, not stone, Zenger.
Whatever
What's
the
the
heck
two
it is.
cup, one
What?
cup on each fist, and
He
he
did
can
what?
change reality in his house.
He was a bad
Was
nerd.
it used? Is it BPA free?
Who knows? Oh, it's definitely got whatever the bad chemicals are. It's from '77, so but
It's got
hopefully
all the
they've,
lead
like,
in it.
And it looks like Vader has little red eyes, right?
Yeah.
Am I looking at this right? He's got
Yeah,
little
look at that
red
art,
red
right?
eyes.
So this
can't
is
really zoom in.
Coca-Cola art that was used. There was a very rare Coke campaign in Canada at the time that had like bottle caps and like that you could get with little characters under
different
them.
colors and stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So
I
it's in
got
line
a
with that.
koozie that's a Vader.
Well,
Okay.
most people, Zenger, would think that's just as cool as this, and it's probably a lot more affordable. So
This is like Zenger calling a comic shop like, "Hey, I got this Spider-Man. It's like a little stuffed animal. How much you think that's worth?" And they're like, "I don't know. Did you get it from a carnival? Does it stick to your window? Is it from the 70s? What do you give me? No information."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like that cup, it basically costs like the same as a Hot Toys or something like that. A bit less, but it's
You gotta
close.
just drink like Dom Perignon out of that thing or something. It's like that's about the most expensive piece of glassware. Like a lot of
it's
people.
plastic.
I don't know anything.
It's that thing is more plastic than that Mothman cup you just drank out of.
Yes, no, I know.
See,
Dude,
that's
this
what
is
you pay
just as rare.
$250 for. That right there.
Dude, it's like a third of a cent worth of plastic. It's great. It's great. In current inflation. Yeah, it's amazing.
In
But
this
yeah,
economy,
man. That's the latest nonsense.
And that's
pickup.
time travel tips. Go back to Canada, grab a bunch of plastic cups. They're gold in the future. You have no idea.
Yep. And I think, by the way, it is a record price for that cup, but they come up so rarely that it's like,
Have you ever eaten at a Groupies? I have to ask, what is Groupies?
I don't think it still exists. It was basically like Wimpy's, like it's like a burger place.
let's keep saying words.
You guys don't still have
Wimpy ate
Wimpy's?
hamburgers. I kind of put it together. And Popeye ate fried chicken. That's why
Yeah.
we know that too. He never touched spinach.
Yeah, I think it's like a Denny's. It's like a chain diner that no longer exists.
But Denny's does keep up the Star Wars mantle. They did Solo.
They did
not in
Xbox
Canada.
cups with Indiana Jones on them.
Wow.
Whoa.
I wish Canadian Denny's had all that cool stuff here.
Yeah,
They just sell
IHOP took the license
Yeah.
though.
all they have here
suck
is
it to
slams.
Denny's.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Denny's. It was IHOP. My bad.
Yeah, IHOP stole the Lucasfilm IP, I guess. They're like, nope. Oh, Denny's, you think you're going to do that? No.
Yeah, I should go back and find that Chewbacca cup with goggles cup topper. That was the key piece from that line.
We should have known Solo was in rough shape when the tie-in partner was Denny's.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing about the Andor trailer. Like they did put
Therm scissor punch.
Yep,
Pretty
firm
quick.
scissor punch. He's like on a cup.
Yeah, he's on a card. He's like, wish he made a cup.
But did anybody else notice they did put a Star Wars story on the Andor trailer under the
Yes,
title?
I noticed that too. They didn't put that in season 1. Now they're like, remember, like the movie Rogue Star Wars story?
Yeah, that hasn't been seen since Solo. I'm pretty sure.
We live in a world where we're
gap.
nostalgic for a tagline now.
Yeah.
Call this
Well,
episode Knights of Vader, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Usually,
Rebrand.
Yeah, no, that should be a side podcast.
But usually when they abandon like a marketing strategy like that, they don't like dust it off like 5 years later, like in a very small text under a logo. It just
True.
seems
It really
stood out.
is
The acolyte, a Star Wars story.
But yeah, and this is kind of the last push of that little bit of that little pocket of Star Wars that is uniquely its own thing, which would have been Rogue One and or season 1, and then this. It is like its own little separate pocket of Star Wars. It's its own little universe inside of a universe, and they're like, you're sort of like, you know what? We start as a Star Wars story. Let's end as one too. This is like a movie. It's like 4 movies you're getting here.
Yeah, Andor is like, imagine Star Wars, but the people behave somewhat normally. No,
That's true. And they play drums and they do everything. They're
They have
normal
bricks.
people. They hide all of the stuff in some
There's
house
taxes. Yeah.
for a long time, and then they go to jail and they get out and they sneak in that house and they get all their stuff back. So that's the one part of Andor. I don't know. Can't.
Yeah, I for one, I'm gonna really thoroughly pay attention and rewatch season 1 over the next month, and I'm gonna enjoy that.
I think that's the first Airbnb ever shown in Star Wars. Was that place Andor was staying on the beach?
Yeah, exactly. And he even, he like, there's a lot of real world content in Andor season 1 for sure. Car
It's
rental.
only prison drama. It's Oz. It's everything you want. We get a whole Oz arc in that where they're in the hurt your foot prison.
Yeah, and you almost Andor and Rogue One like almost make the Death Star feel threatening again, despite everything JJ has done to make it boring.
And we get is that the first time we see the Death Star on Star Wars TV? Would be that little shot we saw. We did see Krennic looking at the Death Star, right? Have we seen it on regular Star Wars?
The post-credit scene in Andor season 1 is the Death Star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought on TV. Yeah, I guess. You have the is it the laser dish that's being built by
with all the pieces they're building.
The spider droids.
How many scenes of this thing being built have we seen? Andor: Revenge of the Sith, where we've seen the plans, we've seen the outer shell. We saw Rogue One, it come together. Now we see a little bit more before that. Is it going to be a middle version too? We're going to see they're going to wedge another story in there.
Never forget that the Death Star was designed by Geonosians.
Yes, because that's in Rebels. Remember the Rebels crew goes to Geonosis and they see the remnants of something.
Sure,
I guess I'm the one who remembers.
Bring those guys back, man. Talk about episode 2. Bring the Geonosians back. Put them on that Death Star, helping them out. Showing them how to put.
Didn't
stuff
the Empire
together.
commit genocide against the Geonosans? Isn't that what eventually happened to them?
Geonosis side.
Yeah, they killed him.
They lasered that termite mound good. Yeah.
Well,
I think it was poison. I think
they're animals, and they killed them like animals. They hate them.
Remember the zombie arc of zombie Geonosians with brainworms and the Clone Wars?
The Queen Geonosian.
That was good stuff. Yeah. Oh man, why was the Clone Wars so? Even the lesser of the 2 Clone Wars was so good. God damn.
Thank you. Hey,
Attack of the Clone Wars. We love it all, Zenger. It's great.
Oh no, I was just saying hey to Chris because he did something he told me.
Hey,
not to
well,
do.
I blasphemed. That's not a real swear.
All right.
I'm good.
So concludes this episode of Knights of Vader.
No, wait. I got something. I got something. I thought of something. So,
Chris, can you play him off?
No. This is me yelling about episode 2. Thank you. So I had a thought.
All right, we come to the end of our program. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, Zanger.
So I had a thought about the Skeleton Crew. Because it's supposed to be this whole Spielberg-esque thing. And I'm like, you know what? None of the Spielberg movies have an explanation of what happens next. Those things just kind of end with like something terrible is about like E.T. You know there's a whole conversation after that. Ready Player One just kind of ends too. Like all of them just sort of end with no explanation what happened. So in that realm,
Ready Player One has a pretty decent epilogue.
It does, but like the initial of them just we got the bad guy and now we're all leaving kind of happens. But no, I just thought about that.
That's bad. You should see Nightmares and Daydreams, this Indonesian show on Netflix. It's like a Twilight Zone show, and it's a great show. Endings are all completely like ridiculous. Like we know we don't have to follow this up. We can just do whatever at the end. So.
Well, no, because I remember I think some of my complaints or one of my things, I was like, they just kind of ended it. It just sort of the rebels showed. I mean, the Republic showed up.
2 guys with ships showed up and fixed everything.
Yeah, it's just that just cuts to black, and I'm like, that was a weird thing. I'm like, no, that was very Spielberg-esque ending to just and then everything was fine.
E.T. went home and we moved on. No one ever asked us any questions again, even though the Men in Black were aware and I was studied by the government and they're waiting with their flashlights.
I got probed.
I like to imagine that Elliot and his family suffered the same experience that Indiana Jones did, where he was abducted in the middle of the night and interrogated for weeks about his alien experience.
As one does.
Gertie had a tortured youth. Too. I mean, let's not get it wrong. She spent a lot of time with an alien creature. She impersonated one.
And Zenger, after Jurassic Park, like it really got a lot worse. Like they accidentally loosed a T-Rex in L.A. Like it was a big disaster.
I'm trying to think of other movies now, Spielberg-wise. Oh yeah, nothing really happens at the end of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, and Schindler's List. It was kind of like, all right, I saw that coming.
The DFG.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other Spielberg movies. You know what? Why don't we just... Yeah, exactly. Nothing very happens at the end. They
Right,
just gotta end.
Minority Report. Start naming Spielberg movies. 1941. Close Encounters. Close Encounters does that.
Yeah, Close Encounters wraps up with I'm just gonna leave Earth.
Temple of Doom.
Close Encounters is a documentary, guys. Like the real
It's
world.
true. It was
happens
based
after
on
it.
reality, and that's why they had to add an extra scene where he's hanging out with them. It's like, all right, we didn't need this. He didn't make Cocoon, right? Thank God.
He did not make. That's Ron Howard, right?
That's how I got it solo. I know aliens. Yeah, Ron Howard. Cocoon. Oh, what a gross
First
movie,
Contact.
man.
No, wait. No, is that First Contact? Who directed Cocoon?
I'm pretty sure it was Ron Howard. I think you did get that right.
It was Ron Howard.
Was it? Okay. Who directed First Contact then?
First Contact, what?
Isn't that a
Star
movie?
Trek movie?
No, not the Star Trek movie. Isn't there a movie with Jodie Foster? Or is
Yeah,
that something
It's
else?
just called Contact. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
It was
That
the first one, though,
aliens-
but I don't know if they made a sequel. Here's hoping.
I don't know who directed that, but it's based on a Carl Sagan book, so it's scientifically sound. Therefore, it's not that exciting.
Look, those
Oh.
satellites existed, so that movie's canon to the world. Yes.
All right, hold on. Let's
Have we had
see
enough
here.
of this?
Hold on.
Just about.
Yeah, Temple of Doom just kind of just ends.
Well,
Oh yeah, I
you know,
forgot he
Raiders of the
executive
Lost Ark
produced.
happens after Temple of Doom, Zenger.
Hook just sort of ends. No explanation to why he was gone with the.
Well, Jaws. Jaws just ends.
Yeah, Jaws just ends. No explanation, anything going on there. West Side Story. No one watched that. Let's see. Lincoln. Yeah,
The
no
Fey
one watched.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lincoln. Oh, he got shot. Spoilers.
I was about to say,
Guys-
Lincoln just ends with
What
him
has
going
this
to a
become?
theater.
Saying I'm giving you 10 more seconds, and I'm just gonna
Yeah,
just play you
I'm-
off.
No. I've been done, man.
All
Like
right.
I just wanted to have that in there because I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? This is a very Spielberg-esque ending.
All right.
Which-
So
Someone
we
just
did that.
established
We had
it's
had a
not.
bit of a hiatus. It was
Taking one last look, sir. At my friends.
just stretching it out. All right.
I feel you put the delay in there longer each time.
It was the trailer version. That was before that even came out. I think before that.
All right. So conclude this episode of Knights of Vader Star Wars podcast. Check out the Facebook group if you too want to see Calrissian Andor eat steak at the Rainforest Cafe. Type of Knights of Vader into the Instagram machine at KLV Podcast. Harass Chris. If you like what you hear, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, whatever podcasting platform you are listening to us on. It's Russ points towards Zenger and Chris in the call. Or he's pointing to a potential subscribe button, a like button.
I don't
Pound
know.
that like button, Russ. All right.
I think he's
Bigfoot.
I think he's doing some sort of sign language that he's not qualified to do.
Oh,
I was
God.
hoping Zanger would raise his arm right here. Weird. Let's see. It's the wrong one.
We're holding hands.
Yes, we're making a daisy chain here.
Okay, this has really just become nonsense at this point. Thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. Check out the show notes to hear more from them. But when you are not listening to us, Chris, what are you up to?
I did a live stream with Russ like a week ago or so that was looking at some fake found footage of alien bodies. That was a good time.
No, fake? Nuh-uh. That was real.
Oh, no, not this, no.
That thing was in a freezer.
Yep, like every real Bigfoot body, it was in a freezer.
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
Yeah, that's my plug too. Go check out our latest episode. We did Alien in the Freezer reread visited the Jonathan Reed story, the Alien in the Freezer, where his poor dog was involved.
And they were in some kind of mortal conflict.
Yeah, you can't talk about what happened to the dog. That's not PG-13.
For the
But,
record, that was conflict spelled with a K.
Zenger, you lost your opportunity to plug something. Joe, what are you up to?
I'm going to be up to getting some sleep.
Much like the audience at home. One thing I just want to say to Russ, somebody on YouTube got me or sent me the rest of the Real Scary Stories episodes, with the exception of one. I have 10 of 11 now. 10 of 11. So
let's try to watch them. We are using StreamYard here. It seems to work well for you. I don't think I'd get in trouble on YouTube for watching any of that.
No,
I don't think they know it exists if you have to find it. So that would be a fun thing to do together. We should definitely do that. I'll do that on the Unbelievers YouTube channel. Go follow Unbelievers on YouTube. That's all my only plug.
yes. Alrighty, Zenger, what are you up to?
This podcast and getting off of. Have they ever a picture so I can complain about that? I mean, play it out. Play me out. This is the best thing ever. I love getting played off. Can we just do this every week now? It's just me trying to scream over this.
All these boogies are dead. Move to the end. Yes, sir. Remember Alderaan! Down with the Empire!